Do you want to know how Brexit will likely affect motorcycling in the UK? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf from RevelatorAlf.com, the channel about motorcycle exploring, biking issues and lifestyle. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bell down there somewhere for all the latest videos. Also, please follow me on @RevelatorAlf on all my social media channels. So, interesting times for us bikers in the UK as the spectre of Brexit looms large on the horizon. In this video, I'm really talking about the immediate ramifications of Brexit on UK biking and motorcycling in general terms for both manufacturer and consumer. So let's get into it. First of all, regulations and type approvals. It really depends how the UK moves away from European legislation or how it aligns with European legislation post-Brexit, and what that will mean for the manufacturers, how they are able to get their motorcycles certified in Europe and to be sold within Europe. The same can be said for imports of European motorcycles such as Ducati, BMW, so on and so forth. The further away from European legislation as it currently stands the UK moves, the more of an effect it will have on the certification process and the approval process of British motorcycles or British motorcycle manufacturing in Europe and vice versa. So it really depends on this split, this legal split, how that is going to affect goods and services being imported and exported across the countries. Now, if UK manufacturers post-Brexit continue to align themselves with European regulations and European certification requirements, which you would expect they would, then there shouldn't really be that much of a change. However, they will also have to be very careful that the products and services from Britain are not banned within Europe. Now, just as certain American and Japanese motorcycles are banned within Europe because they don't meet the emission standards. Secondly, free movement. Now, lots of bikers like to travel around Europe, and also European bikers like to travel into the UK as well. The freedom of movement may change, which will affect channel crossings, it will affect visa requirements, passport requirements, it may affect the amount of equipment that you have to take into Europe. For example, you know, what markings you might have to have on a motorcycle. Do you have to change lighting, so on and so forth? What approvals, what taxes, extra taxes you may have to pay. So that may or may not change. It really depends on the split from Brexit. Also, as well as the free movement requirements, the visas, so on and so forth, it may mean that many or all UK motorcyclists and drivers for that matter, of course, will not be able to drive on a UK license in Europe. They may have to get an international driving license or a European driving license, and that really depends on which countries you're going to. So watch this space, because there's going to be a lot of movement, pardon the pun, on this area, whether there will be free movement, whether it be visas required in terms of passports, and whether you'll be able to ride on a UK license. Thirdly, European insurance and European breakdown cover. So post-Brexit, it really depends if you're going to take your motorcycle abroad, and also will you still have a European insurance cover. Likely it will change, so you'll have to get extra insurance for European riding, and also extra breakdown cover for Europe as well. Now, it really depends if this will be an extension of UK policies or UK cover, or you'll have to take out separate cover from a European-based country. That's not been sorted out yet, so there's going to be a lot of movement on this as well. Now, it really depends post-Brexit what the arrangements are, and whether, if you have an accident in Europe, will the insurance companies be able to talk to each other, and the breakdown cover, will they be able to talk to each other? So it really depends if they will value and recognize the British European cover, or whether they'll only recognise the European cover. So that's something to read up on as we get nearer the time, but also post-March, post-Brexit, what's actually going to happen. So fourthly, we're really talking about riding prices, fuels and taxes. So riding prices will likely increase, fuel is set to increase, and possibly certain taxes in certain areas. Now, whether we're going to have income tax rises, VAT rises in this country, whether we're going to have fuel duty rises, also the taxes that you'll have to pay when you go abroad. So you can expect tax rises, you can expect rising prices for any imported product. So any motorcycle accessory or motorcycles from Europe especially, that will increase in price. Now, motorcycle prices, this will largely depend on the trade agreements between the UK and Europe post-Brexit, but also with the rest of the world. It also largely dependent on the value of the pound. If the value of the pound is likely to fall, as it's likely to do so, then we'll find that imports of any product will be more expensive. Now, the value of the pound falling will actually help exports from this country. So let's say, for example, Triumph and Norton, they will be able to continue to export their products to Europe, and because the value of the pound has fallen, people in Europe will be able to buy Triumph and Norton for a lot cheaper, or in relative terms a lot cheaper. So here's a question for you all. In terms of motorcycling for British riders, what will be the best and worst thing about Brexit? Please leave your comments below. I know this is a very fluid discussion at the moment, and with the farcical goings on within the government, it hasn't helped things at all, but now this is right on our doorstep and it's becoming very real indeed. Now, also with Brexit, we also have to consider the effect on our European neighbours and European manufacturers, whether they'll be able to export their products into this country and what levies will be imposed on their products. Now, European manufacturers such as Ducati, BMW, Moto Guzzi or Alpine Stars or whatever it is, Dainese, will want to still sell their products in the UK, and they don't want to have to be penalised for selling their products over here. So let's say if they have a weak pound, that means that their products will become a lot more expensive in this country. Therefore, sales will be affected, and also demand will probably be affected as well. European riders may still want to come to the UK. Well, you would hope so. So post-Brexit, how will this affect our economy? Well, less tourists means less tourist pounds, which would be bad for the economy in general. And also, if we're talking about imports, less imports, that means less competition and less diversity. So overall, it might be a bad thing. It might be good for UK manufacturers, of course, but for the consumer, there might be a reduction in competition and a reduction in the availability of products and services, which may or may not be a bad thing depending on your point of view. Now, many pro-Brexiteers have been saying that this will give the UK an opportunity to get better trade agreements with the rest of the world. However, as Europe has just made a good trade agreement with Japan, which means that imports of Japanese motorcycles will be a lot cheaper in Europe, that may mean that it might be worse for the UK. So this could have a negative effect on UK imports, but also have a negative effect on UK exports of brands such as Triumph and Norton. If Europeans are not only buying European brands, but they're also getting cheaper Japanese brands, then they may not be able to buy British brands, Norton, Triumph, etc., as an economical price. So the biggest effects will be on motorcycle purchase prices and running costs. Travel around Europe, travel insurance, motorcycle insurance and breakdown cover. Import prices and the availability of not only motorcycles, but also accessories. the legislation surrounding motorcycle type approvals, and surrounding licensing usage and testing standards. Now, obviously, as we get nearer to the split and post-Brexit, we will then see the true nature of the split, the Brexit, and what it will mean for us all. So here's a question for you all. How long post-Brexit do you think it will take for the positives to then outweigh the negatives? Because initially there will be negatives with the value of the pound, with the changes to the imports and exports, the availability of free movement, and how the regulations will affect us. So there will be a lot of changes, but at some point we will get back to an even keel, let's say, or a balance, or where the balance will be in favor of positive. But how long is it going to take? We're talking a few months, we're talking a year, we're talking 3 or 4 years. Actually, we really don't know right now, but I'll be interested to hear your thoughts as well. Much of the issue, certainly in the short term, will be dictated by the value of the pound and what agreements will be in place between Europe and the UK to maintain the regulatory processes and the trading status quo. This is where we will see the biggest effect on the UK biker's wallet, and where we will see the most changes too, both in the short term and the long term. As I said at the start, we live in interesting times. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on UK biking post-Brexit. Also, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell for all the latest videos. And please share the video across all your social media. That would be really appreciated. Check out the description and homepage for all my social media links, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Lots more info being added to that on a daily basis. Catch you on the next video, whenever that is. Cheers now.